All right, folks, we're going to get you back to court in just a moment. But first, I want to bring in our guest for this hour. Joining us to discuss, criminal defense attorney Joshua Kolsrud. Joshua, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me here on the program. And I want to talk about the cross-examination, where you think Donna's attorney might be going. Again, this particular witness was testifying about, again, I would call it part of the cover-up, the idea that she wanted to get away, consciousness of guilt, buying tickets to Vietnam. Immediately after, the day after her son's conviction, she's searching for countries with non-extradition treaties. Not good, not a good look for the defendant. Where does he go with this cross, you think?
Well, what he wants to kind of show here is that these are the actions of a scared mother, you know, not only mother, but grandmother. You know, she's an elderly woman, she's 75. And they also want to portray the prosecution's case as confirmation bias, where you start with the conclusion that Donna is guilty and then you work backwards. And then everything that Donna does, you're seeing in a negative light. So here, let's look at the one-way ticket to Vietnam. You know, the prosecution is going to argue at closing that that's evidence of flight. That's evidence of guilt. And, you know, it's another piece in the puzzle to be able to prove her motive and her complicity in the conspiracy. But the defense is going to say, look, you know, this woman is scared. She's elderly. And she doesn't trust the people who are investigating her. And this isn't the action of somebody who has something to hide. This isn't the action of somebody who's fleeing the country. She just wants to get away from everything. So they want to make this look like it's the ordinary, reasonable thing to do for somebody in her position.
Look, Joshua, I get that argument. And quite frankly, I think it's a good one under the circumstances. One of the things I'm sure they're going to bring out is this idea that when she bought that ticket, there was no arrest warrant for her. So again, that's not the strongest argument, but at the end of the day, she didn't know whether they were going to come after her or not. But the idea is, as far as in her mind, if she wants to make the argument, she said, look, they just convicted my son. My son wasn't involved. They're pretty much going to want to come after me because my name was mentioned a lot during his trial. So I just want to get away for a little while. I want to think this through. Harvey's going with her. There was testimony. They had a very sort of loving relationship. It makes sense that Harvey would want to go as well. And apparently, there was a bar mitzvah coming up that she had planned to go to. So I don't say that that's the worst argument in the world.
It's not. And, you know, the prosecution has a tough case. And you kind of saw that with today's testimony of the so-called jailhouse snitch, which, you know, they're really pinning their case on here. You know, this is a woman who has 27 prior felony convictions or crimes of dishonesty, and they're using her to now try to impute motive on to Donna. And this is in addition to the manufactured evidence where, you know, the so-called bump, the street performance performed by law enforcement to try to get a reaction from Donna. And you only do that kind of thing when you're in law enforcement. And trust me, I know. I was a prosecutor for almost 15 years. And this only happens when you don't have the juice, when you don't have the type of evidence that you need to bring a case. And they're really struggling here. And I don't see how a jury can't see this jailhouse snitch as a sign of desperation for the prosecution.
Yeah, I agree. I think both of those things that you mentioned are signs of desperation. I wonder how the jury might read it. You and I know sort of the background to those things. But here's the thing. I felt the same way about the two jailhouse informants until I saw the script, Joshua. There's a script. What was she thinking? What do you think? Does that solidify their testimony? I think it does.
Well, it's tough. You know, when you see that in writing, there doesn't leave much interpretation of what it means. And, you know, it's right there. And so the jury is going to be able to read this and be like, well, what is she admitting to? And why did Donna do this anyway? I mean, that's the question. Why would she, this is what the defense is going to argue. Like, why would the defendant, Donna, write this knowing that she's under investigation?
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. All right, stand by, Joshua. I do need to take folks back into court now for more of Sergeant Christopher Corbett. He's still here on cross-examination by Donna's attorney.